So now that we've bounced our stems, that took me roughly 15 to 20 minutes to do each stem. It's going to depend on your CPU, the processing you have on each stem, so that time will change per project. So what happens now is we bring our stems in. Like I said, I bounce them all at the same length. Visually, I like that better, same file size. And what we'll get in here is with Logix, this actually magnifies the regions bigger, but this is our actual bounce volume. You guys can see everything's really light and low, which is fine. We'll see in the mixer in a moment, but I'm just going to open this up so we can really see the actual waveforms. So, because what I like to do before we even get going is do a visual scan of my mix of my stems to make sure in the bouncing process, did something bounce with a little clip, a clicking sound, anything that looks out of not so normal in here. So I take a visual scan on each stem, because trust me, guys, if you're new to this, it's going to happen. You're going to have issues with your DAW once in a while. A certain plugin, that just goes crazy randomly on the bouncing. So sometimes stuff will happen in here. So just visually scan through every stem. And we might come across something too while we're going. But that's the first thing I do here. So now once I visually like everything and everything's in here in order, I like to group things out and set up my buses. And this is one for an organization purpose, and two, bussing and grouping together is going to make and speed up my process of using the plugins here with FabFilter in a moment. I like grouping my drums, and I can use my compressors and EQ there, not only on top of my individual track stems. So with that being said, 1 through 10 is going to be all my bus. So I'm going to grab these, and I'm going to go up to track, and I'm going to hit create track stack, and I'm just going to create. And this just creates a sum. So when I hit this arrow, it sums all of this into this group. We can even color code this if we want, just to keep things simple. Let's go to colors, and let's just name, put this as like a more of an orange. So we have our drum group. And now what I can do, if I open up my mixing console here, I have a group of all the drums. So I could always just solo this, and we can process with FabFilter, which we'll get to in a moment. So first things first, let's go to the next ones. I have my break perks, my break drums. I'm actually going to put those in another group. So let's go down to sum and do the same. And we're just going to hit break group, break perk group. So we have that also. And we can just label those. Let's go to a different color. And guys, this is important to the process right now because trust me, organization in the mixing phase is you need to do it because trust me, if you're new to mixing and mastering in general and you're having a little bit of trouble with it, there's certain little details like what I'm going to do here today that could really help you out. And I want to say organization has helped me over the years, so 100%, whether it's naming, color coding, stacking in the correct order, right? So that all of that really comes into factor. So now I'm going to grab all my break, my guitars. I'm going to grab my keys, fill melody. I'm going to put this all in one, and let's do a track stack on that. We'll do the guitar group on that. We have a little fill melody that I want to put together. And now let's keep moving forward, just a different color. Okay, let's go to the drop section. I'm going to have the bass. I have 2 support saws, so let's do those. And we'll do drop group, chord group. Okay. And let's just color code that. So it's a little, a little tedious up front, but this is how I get things going. Again, to make it easier for me. So this is all going to be break, piano. We have a vocal chop. So let's keep the vocals out. So then we'll take all of these and we'll do a break group. So let's create stack and let's just do break synths. You guys can call it whatever you want. This is just the way I name stuff here. So let's just color code this, and let's just go to a different one. Let's go further down here. Okay, and lastly, I have the vocals and the effects. So same idea there. So now we're creating the stack for that. And this is the way I like to separate stuff. Again, if you guys want to put vocals with a break or something, you don't have to do it exactly how I'm doing it. This is just my preference on how I like things stacked. So I know how I can work and, where stuff's going to be, because every track that I'm doing is this same process. So if you guys find something that works better for you, by all means, naming it a different way, that's totally fine. And lastly, we've got our effects. Okay, so you guys can see visually, this is better for me. Everything is going to play the same way. I'm not changing any of that. I'm not changing my mix. I'm just setting things up to get going. So that's what I do first. So now that I have everything set up visually, I'm happy with where I can, work. I know my drums are here. I know my synths are down here, etc. It's better for us to start this way. If you guys are not doing this and you're struggling, I highly recommend it. It's going to help you out. So with that being said, now we can jump into our mixing phase. Let's go with first, I like starting out with our compression. So let's jump to that section now.